Tomorrow, the Springboks will be opening their international campaign against arch rivals Australia at Ellis Park. And we have roped in a man who is no stranger and an SABC sport journalist to help us dissect all things involving the Springboks. Good evening, Thando, and welcome to this side of things.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let's first talk about James Small, former Bok winger. Yesterday, he was laid to rest. What are some of your memories of this legend?
Look, he was a divided opinion off the field, but on the field, I have nothing but good things to say about James Small. He played the game with the right attitude. He always gave his all. He's one of those people, I think one of the similarities with the modern day rugby players are Brian Habana, whereby maybe not the most talented of players in terms of flair and that kind of stuff, but his attitude towards the game, the work ethic that he brought to the game. I mean, like I remember, the obvious one to think about is the 95 World Cup, where he literally faced a giant and a mountain. He faced his Goliath, and James Small basically finished that match on top of the world. He marked the one person who had given the entire rugby world a lot of fear. He did that commendably. He did it cleanly. Not many people can say those kind of things about players. Especially when you talk about professional players, a lot of times we question their attitudes. Do they give the all? James Small, every time, whether it was training or whether it was playing on the actual field, he played the game in the right spirit, and that is what we want whenever a person represents a country and whenever they represent a team, because people invest so much emotionally, financially, and in terms of time in teams. All you want is someone to go out there and play with the right attitude. You don't care about their talent. The fact of the matter is they're wearing a jersey and they need to respect that jersey. James Small did that, and no one can even complain about that. He always gave his all, no matter what team he played for, whether it's the Sharks, Stormers, Transvaal, even the Springboks.
Absolutely, and that's why the Boks are dedicating tomorrow's match to him. But now let's look at that team selection that has been made by Rassie. Your thoughts on that?
It's been an interesting one, because Rassie from the start said, look, we're going to take a team over to New Zealand, and then we're going to leave also another team here. A lot of people have labeled this team as a second team. If you look at some of the players that are in the team, even Etzebeth, for example, that's not a second-rate lock. He's one of the best in the world. There are some interesting combinations. You look at the centre pairing, Esther Hazen and Jesse Krill. A lot of people have said, look, the ball is not going to get to the wings because they're not that type of players. They like to take the ball up. But also, I think another interesting factor for me is the overseas players have been given a run. They haven't played in a while. I think it's been more than 6 weeks since their last rugby game. So it's an interesting dilemma, because we've always questioned the conditioning of these overseas-based players. But this is a chance for them to prove a lot of people wrong. They've been invited to join the team and show what they can do. They have a fair chance to make the final World Cup squad. Let's see what they can do. They've always tried their best. I guess we can only judge them by what they do when they get onto the field tomorrow.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of opinion has been coming through with regards to the Rugby Championship, that it's not been taken seriously because Rassie has really been harping on the World Cup. Do you think that this is a fair criticism?
No, I don't think so, because ultimately we're looking at the end goal, which is the World Cup. We have to build towards that, and we need to test all our different strategies and in match situations. What Rassie's doing is he's giving everyone a chance whom he believes has a realistic chance of making the squad. You need to test all these players in match conditions and under pressure situations. Test rugby is different to Super Rugby. The pressure alone does things to players, and very good players at that. So all these guys, I mean, like you look at the squad, a guy like Lizo Gqoboka has been part of the setup for 5 years, but he hasn't really played for the Boks. He's always had issues with injuries, and everyone has said this guy needs a chance. We need to see him against the best in the world. Australia are a formidable side. they've struggled in Super Rugby, but when it matters the most, Australia can put together a squad of 30 which can beat the best in the world, including New Zealand. Now, with these players that are left behind, it's a chance. People have said, for example, a guy like Beast, they've said his time is over. He should have called it a year ago, but he's gone and proven time and again that he's got the quality to produce the goods. So it's nice to see all these players that we've talked about in Super Rugby getting given a chance against a very good team.
No, absolutely. Now I'm going to put your head on the block for this one. Who is winning tomorrow and why?
The heart would love the Springboks to win, and I think they've got a fair chance if you look at their record. At Ellis Park, it's rather good. I think the last time they lost, there was 1965 or something like that. Yeah. It's a very good record. They're playing at altitude. They've got the players who have proven themselves on a lot of stages that they can meet the standards on any platform. So for me, I'd like the Springboks to win. I believe the Springboks are going to win. Australia, I'm worried about them because they've sort of gone under the radar. No one has said anything about them. You haven't really seen anything about them in the media. But still, they've brought together a very decent side. And we should always be wary of an Australian side coming to South African shores because they've always got a point to prove. And I don't know. Springboks are going to take it, let's say by 8.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so just off the pitch a bit in terms of rugby, again, we're facing Australia as the netball team tomorrow. Your prediction on that one before I let you go?
It's improbable that we're going to win against a team that's won this World Cup 14 times, but it's not impossible. The ladies have shown against the best that they can produce the goods. Yeah. They've done extremely well at this World Cup. I believe we can surprise a couple of people tomorrow.
Thank you, Thando, for coming through. Really wise words coming through there from our SABC sport journalist, Thando. And of course, tonight is the AFCON final.